What's up everybody, and thank you for joining me for another video. My name is Whack4863, but you can call me Whack. In today's video, I want to cover the server mergers and really the FAQs, the frequently asked questions that have come up with this server merger. So what I did is I got on the forums and I scrolled through the absolutely enormous forum post for the server mergers, and I pulled out the most frequently asked questions and answers to them. I also went to Funcom to verify the answers and make sure that they were correct, and I asked a few questions of my own. So let's talk a little bit about the server shutdown and if you have to go to another server. So first of all, I wanted to know what happens to anything placed that you can't fit in your inventory when you are being merged out of a server. So this would be placed thralls or pets, any building pieces or supplies that you can't pick up. Essentially, anything that's not in your inventory will be lost. So it's very important for you to decide what to fill your inventory with, because whatever you don't have in your inventory is going to go away when the server shuts down. I then asked, how much can you actually carry to the next server? And the answer is basically whatever you can fit in your character inventory, backpack, and armor slots. So fill your inventory to the brim, that way you have as much stuff as is humanly possible, or as much stuff as is gamer possible, to move to the next server. Now, with the server merger, you can be encumbered. So it's not like server transfers where you are not allowed to be encumbered. However, I wanted to know if the encumbrance perk was required. Essentially, it's not required, but for full movement speed, when you get to the next server, you will want to have an encumbrance build. If you're like me and you're wondering where you're going to spawn on the receiving server, you are going to spawn in the new player areas of each map. So if you're in the exiled lands, it would be the desert area, and if you're on the Isle of Sipta, it would be in one of the 4 spots on the beach. I saw this question asked a couple of times on the forums, and essentially it's asking if the receiving server would be wiped prior to the merger. And it's a simple answer. The answer is no, the receiving server will not be wiped before the merger. And honestly, as much as the situation isn't great for those people that have to merge into a new server, there's no reason for that server to be wiped prior to receiving you in that merger. I really wanted to know when the merge list would be complete. So when will we know all the servers that are being merged for this round? And their answer is the list is complete now. We may add more in the future, but right now the list is complete for the first wave of mergers. We do not have any plans to start a new wave prior to update 3.0. So this should give you some confidence to go and look at that list, see if your server is either receiving or if you have to leave your server. The list is complete. There will not be more servers added to that list anytime soon. I wanted to know if server transfers were open on merging servers, both leaving and receiving. Their answer was on the closing servers, they are open for characters to leave those servers, but not open for new characters being transferred to them. You can also not create new characters on the servers that are being closed during the merging process. So if you wanted to transfer early, you can do that. I have seen some reports that people have been able to transfer over encumbered as well. So that's a good thing if you wanted to try to do that. Personally, I think I would wait it out and just let the merge happen and then start on the new server. But if you had the idea of transferring back and forth between those servers to get all of your items from one server to the other, it does look like that process is blocked and you won't be able to do that. I asked if there was a target number for the servers that would be ideal. They said our target was to trim and merge those servers that had low population. We aren't doing any additional server mergers before 3.0, and we currently have no plans to do any after. But we want to keep our server population healthy and not have low population official servers, so we may consider new mergers based on each server's activity. This is a big one that I saw asked multiple times on the forums. Will PvP be disabled for any amount of time during the merge? Their answer was, we're looking into whether there is a convenient way to do so, but for now, there are no plans to disable PvP. So when you are transferring from a PvP server into another PvP server, I don't even know what to tell you as far as how to keep yourself safe. You will not spawn into the server until you log in for the first time, so maybe joining at times where people don't normally play may be a good idea, or waiting it out for a while and not going on right when the merger happens so that you don't find people waiting in those noob areas for you to spawn in with a base full of loot in your inventory. Another question that I asked is, what happens if I already have a character on the receiving server? Their answer was, the character that was online the latest will be kept and the older one will be removed. So do make sure that you do a little bit of housekeeping yourself and either delete the character that you don't want, or make sure you log in and play with the character that you do want. The last question that I asked was, can you explain the process and how it's different from the server transfer? Their answer was, the merger is done via a different process than character transfers and does not rely on a mediating server like character transfers. The mergers are done using internal tools our team has developed for this process. So the way that I understand it is, they will be copying some databases from the server that is shutting down and merging them with the database from the server that is receiving a merge. So I hope this video has helped those of you that need this information or want this information. You let me know in the comments section below, are you leaving a server or are you receiving a bunch of new players to the server you play on? I'd like to thank all my YouTube members for your continued support. Y'all are absolute legends. If you'd like to become a legend, there's a button that says join on this page. Click that for details. There's 2 videos on the screen. Click one of those to watch next, and I'll meet you over there.